We haven't heard from Rachel. Have we got any questions?
Rachel.
Oh, okay. So my question is, what is the importance of sisterhood, community, or connection and community?
Oh.
Answer that.
So I would like to, well, who'd like to go? Lorna? Would you like to give us an answer? What do you think?
The importance of sisterhood, community and connection. Community and connection, yay, wonderful. And this is what this is all about, isn't it?
Woo!
And I suppose it's also about a bit of sisterhood as well. But when people say sisterhood, I get a little bit funny because it reminds me of white feminist movement. Yeah, definitely connection, definitely community. And stories make communities, I think, anyway.
Nice one. What about you, Ruth? What's your take on that?
It's interesting, Lorna, what you said about sisterhood and, you know, the white feminism. I haven't really thought about it to that degree, but I sometimes think it is a bit overused. But so, I mean, for me, I was thinking about the sisterhood issue of being very much about about this group. And if I would say, in terms of if I were to use that word, I'd say it's probably more about being chosen. I really like the idea that we have chosen to be with each other. We choose to want to be with each other. We choose to want to spend time with each other. And it's not because we've got blood connection, although we might feel it, but we have our blood families. But because we choose, we want to spend that time, and we get excited about it. So that's a sort of sisterhood I see. And when we talk about sisterhood, it's also about, you know, sometimes we're not just sisters. Some of us are children. The same mother or father or, you know, brother or whatever. So it's probably wider than even that. But I think it's really important to have that sort of bond and unity and the sense of feeling that we've chosen, or I feel chosen by you all. When I walk into a room, if I see it, any of you in a room with other people, I feel safe. Or if I'm there and one of you walk in, I'm like, oh yeah, you know, it's that real great sense. So yeah, that is important to me. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Nice. Before I round it up, did somebody else want to add something?
No, I was saying it's what Ruth just said. It's about belonging. It's being on this group, feel like you belong to something, and we've always, although our stories are very different, there's something that kind of link us in together. I think that's quite really nice for me.
Yeah. I'd like to add something about the connection and the sisterhood, and it's quite refreshing and amazing to be with a group of people where you can just really just be, where you can just say, this is me. It's not this is me or that is me or this is me or, you know, that is me. No, this is me.
Today. This is me today.
This is me today.
Yes, this is me today. That connection, that authenticity, and that sort of, you know, just allowing yourself to be. You know, I'm a great believer in just being, and it's great to have a space, the connection, a group of people to just be. Whether they like it or not.
Oh, that's lovely.
It is. I think that sort of, you've all kind of said it all, really, that sense of belonging and being connected with each other, and that sort of sense of trust and love. And even if you don't say how you're feeling, your sisters in this group, they see you. They see what's going on for you, and you can pretend that it's nothing, but actually it's there, and they've seen it, and that kind of level of trust. And also faith, that they feel confident to actually say what's going on for you, and for you to feel confident that you can say it, not be judged. I think it's really important, that sense of we're not judging each other, we're hearing each other, we're accepting each other. And for me, whether it's a community, but for me, this sisterhood is about that kind of level of deep trust and deep love, and that kind of, you know, it's light at the end of the tunnel sort of thing, even on a bad day. You know, I know, you know, these check-ins during lockdown have been for me really, really, really good and really important. And it's deepened, I think, our friendship and our sisterhood.
Yeah.
Because actually we're all in our little, you know, spaces, even here on Zoom. But the connection that we have, that strong sense of sisterhood is holding us. And that for me is the importance of sisterhood,
yeah, it's
connection,
good.
and community.
Hey, I love it, love it, love it, love it.
Okay, so
But before we wrap up, I just want a question, actually, because I'm quite interested to find out what is your kind of source of creativity, what's your inspiration? I don't know, it would be quite nice to find out from everybody, not just a few of us, from everybody.
Okay, I will go first.
Okay, go ahead.
I would say Gil Scott Heron is one of my favorites. I remember when I was, I don't know, about 17, listening to him for the first time, listening to his poetry, listening to the rhythm of his poetry and his music, and just feeling like, oh yeah, there's, you know, before that I was mostly listening to soul and I thought, oh yeah, there's something else you can do with music, and just the beauty of what he did and that he had something to say. That's me.
Anybody else? Well, we're gonna all go around. You can't escape this one.
Name someone. Name it. Pass the baton on, Lorna.
All right, go Valerie. Valerie, do you wanna go?
Okay. It's difficult to say it was this person or that person. I think it's been music, performance. I think from little, my parents, I remember going to the Bristol Hippodrome as a child. It was a special outing, or going to the cinema was a special outing. So going to see something or going somewhere that wasn't church was something special. So I think it's, for me, is about connected to creativity, connected to the arts in whatever it is, because I find it interesting that when I go into schools and children don't have any of that experience, so it's watching the telly or it's on the phone, but it's not going out to see something else that connects you to whatever it is, whether it's through dance, art. So I think it's getting ideas from seeing other people tell their story in a creative way. And as I've got older, I'm discovering lots of people and artists and names. So today it could be Maya Angelou, tomorrow it could be, I know, Lovers Rock, it could be a play on the telly, so many things. But I think it's the actual arts as a thing. Well, I don't even know what I'm saying.
Great answer. Great answer.
Yeah, I agree, actually. It's quite, the fact that you said those is you kind of meet new people. And I was going to say, that was one thing I was going to say. It's like, I normally always say the person who really inspired me is Miriam Makeda, because I love the way she was, and you know, the whole African inspiration, and the way she portrayed herself as an African woman. I love her songs. But I actually also get inspired with the people. Wasn't so much on the screen, was well known by everybody. And I wanted to actually name someone today because I found out about her last year when I was in New York, and it was about a year ago. So I just wanted to mention her name. I mean, some of you might know her, but I didn't know until last year. She's called Vinette Jason Cowell. And she was an American playwright, actress, and theater director. And she was the first African woman to direct it on Broadway. And when I saw her story, when I was over there last year, when I was in New York last year, I was kind of taken. I was like, wow, why don't I know about someone like Vinette, because she, you know, as a first woman, she must have had to do a lot of work and to get to where she was to perform on Broadway. And I think I get always excited when I discover new people that kind of inspire me.
Shall I go?
Yeah, go.
A bit like Valerie in a way. I think people, just people. I mean, you know, you could be standing in, at the moment, outside Tesco queuing to get in or anything. And, you know, you just see two people behaving in a certain way and you think, oh, wow, what's going on there? And suddenly ideas come to your head. I get really passionate about certain things I hear, that what's happening in the news or what's happening in communities, and I want to write about it and I want to tell the story and I want to show it and, you know, get on that stage and get people to see it in a different way. So I think it is more about, and I am inspired by lots of different writers and you know, as well, but I think the thing that drives my inspiration most is things that are going on in the world that really impact on me, and then just watching people, listening to people, talking to people, finding out what moves them and how that impacts on me as well. And I think that's what drives my inspiration. I then want to do something with it. You know, I want to, you know, when I feel I want to go and write something down, that's because I've had a conversation or I've seen something going on or I've heard something or something's going on, like obviously what's happening now in the community with, you know, the coronavirus and how it's affecting Black and Asian, you know, communities more disproportionately. That's what inspires me to want to go away and write something and be creative. So yeah, I think it's about what's happening in the world and people.
And I have to say, for those who don't know out there, Wolf is an amazing writer. So you should try to find a way to listen to her stories. I'm always inspired every time she shares her story.
Yeah. We all are. We all are. We all are.
Yeah.
You need to start finishing your work, Wolf.
Yes, Ruth. Yes, I agree. Yeah. I agree. I think you're all right. I mean, it's that other people inspire me, you know, just by listening to other people's stories and other people's reading. But in terms of dance has always been my main form, but just shifting on to starting to do theatre, just before I joined Black Women Let Loose, I saw an actress do storytelling, Deborah Ward, who some of you might have met, and throughout this show, there were two of them, and her characterization, the way that she became that character for me, and the way she told the stories, I was just like, wow, how even in one set I saw her, I didn't recognize her because she was this other character, and only with, you know, costume and her voice, I was just watching thinking, who is this? And lo and behold, it was only at the end I realized it was her. So that has been really, for me, inspired me, and I've attended quite a few of her kind of storytelling courses, the way that she gave feedback. It's inspired me to develop my own work and give me confidence in my storytelling, which is an art form, but until you see somebody doing it and thinking they can do it, but supporting other storytellers to tell their stories and to develop characters. So for me, she's really inspired me, and I'm just so excited, you know, to kind of move on and kind of develop, and can't wait to go to another of her courses so I can learn more. So it's kind of opened up for me this whole new channel of creativity that I didn't know was actually, it was in me all this time. And being part of Black Women Let Loose has actually said, yes, you've got it. And this is like an opportunity to actually expand my creativity. So yeah. What about you, Yoma?
Yeah, I've got a few sources of inspiration. It's a bit difficult to nail them down, although I suppose if I think deeply, I find that a lot of my sources of inspiration are people who write a lot, who are writers, authors, poets, and I suppose I really admire it when I'm thinking about something I'm not quite sure how to articulate thing, and then I hear someone say it, and they've captured what I was thinking, or even if I wasn't thinking about it, they just express something so clearly. I'm like, oh my God, that's so outstanding. So I can think of people like, oh God, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, I love her, and Toni Morrison, goddess. Maya Angelou, especially. Maya Angelou, obviously a poet and a writer and a performer as well. So her spirit, I love. Phenomenal Woman, Still I Rise, my 2 favorite poems ever. And also latterly, I think is the word I'm looking for. I discovered, Christelle, you mentioned just discovering someone last year. This year I discovered Nikki Giovanni. Where has she come in life? I love she just says, you know, I'm just everything that comes out of her mouth that I've listened to so far, and I did gorge on her one day on YouTube. Just like, yes.
How well she can be.
yeah. I love the fact that she said, and you know, Christians, you know, spoiler alert, when she said Jesus didn't love, you know, the devil. Jesus didn't accommodate the devil. She said, Jesus, get thee behind me. And it's true. And it's kind of like this notion that you must forgive and forget and accommodate evil, shall we say. No, Jesus did. Anyway.
That's another story.
Yeah, but growing up, I suppose one person I always do look upon, because she really did influence me growing up, just observing her, and I didn't even know why she was influencing me, is a Nigerian woman called Onyeka Onwenu. She's in her 70s, maybe 80s now, but she'd been on TV, a reporter, an actress, a performer, an activist as well for equal rights and and fair pay for actors in Nigeria. In fact, she even got blacklisted for her activism in Nigeria. I didn't even know that existed back then. And but what I saw as a young child growing up was a dark-skinned black woman, and who didn't try to conform to the concept of beauty. Light-skinned, long hair. She had short cropped hair, and she just exuded richness of personality. So that's my bowl of inspiration there.
There's so much inspiration between all of us. There's lots to explore there. Well, thank you so much, everyone. I hope you listening to us, you've learned a little bit about us as well. So thank you for tuning in with us. And I'm Christelle.
I'm Lorna.
I'm Rachel.
I'm Ruth.
I'm Valerie.
And I'm Yoma. And we
are Black Women Let
Thank
Loose.
you.
Bye. 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 Bye.